While we're waiting for some of us to get the audio going, I'd like to wish everyone a happy International Women's Day. Today is the 8th of March, 2023, and I'm really excited that we are celebrating International Women's Day and all of you are here to celebrate it with us. It's truly an exciting day because we are celebrating the achievements of women all around the world. And if you know, the IWD has quite a few missions, and I'm really happy that we are focusing on something that's really close to my heart, and that is women in sport. So this giveaway that this is what we'll be focusing on today. But before I go any further, I'd like to get everybody's icebreaker a little bit going. Today is really special. I'd like you to, instead of renaming yourself to the country or organization you're from, how about telling me which sport that you are from? So if you play tennis, if you run a marathon, or if you are into cycling, rename yourself and tell me your name and the sport that you are very interested or very passionate about. Or if you're a little bit shy, you can just type in the chat. Feel free to tell us which sport that you play, or even, wishing us, everybody here, a happy International Women's Day. If you like what you've heard, the Zoom, as everybody knows, you have to give a thumbs up or, a clap just to give everybody a resounding acceptance. The next part is very important. If you do not understand what I'm saying, I'm here to give you a little heads up. On your black panel bar, you could see this little globe that says interpretation. Select the audio that you would like to choose. So if you can't understand me because I'm speaking English, select the Japanese audio session and it will be automatically interpreted by our live interpreter for you today. So just bear in mind, there is an interpretation app here that we have provided for everybody in the room. So feel free to choose the English or Japanese session depending on your language of choice. Now, without further ado, I'd like to share a little bit more about the session today. But before that, I'd like to share that, PARIMA is turning 10 this year, and we're really excited to be partnering with MSI today as well to celebrate not only PARIMA's 10-year anniversary, but what MSI likes to do in terms of supporting athletes across their workplace. So it's been 10 years in the Asia Pacific region for PARIMA, and we are really excited with the help of partners like MSI to continue to develop our risk managers in the region. So today, I just wanted to share, besides the importance of celebrating achievements of women, I myself am a strong advocate about women in sport. Besides leading efforts here in PARIMA in Asia Pacific, I sit on the co-chair for the Women's Development Committee for Women's Rugby here in Singapore. So my sport, as you have guessed, is rugby. So I'm also the current representative of the Singapore Women's Sevens team, and we are heading to the Asian Games later this year in September. I've been playing rugby for over 13 years, and with a deep passion, I've also noticed that, you kind of see a sort of bias in this male-dominated sport. And getting this committee set up is to increase visibility of women in rugby in the community. So I feel that sometimes women, too many times, are being kept, in the background, and only men's achievements are celebrated. So today, what we like to do is to actually celebrate, women in the spotlight, celebrating their achievements, because I feel that by fostering the community of women, fostering the cohesion, we are going to uplift each other by celebrating our achievements. And I think this can definitely be propelled if all of us give them the support that they deserve. So I'm really excited once again to be partnering with MSIG to support athletes in celebrating their sporting dreams and celebrating achievements together. This session is also going to talk a little bit more about resilience, and as an athlete or as a team, you will definitely see resilience somewhere throughout your sporting career. But I'm not going to talk too much about myself because I think who we are here for is one of our guest stars of the panel. And without further ado, I'm just going to pass it to Clemens to share a little bit more about MSIG and also to introduce our panelists for the session today. Over to you, Clemens.
Thank you very much, Samantha. Thank you very much for the passionate opening. And I literally could feel your excitement through the video screen in front of me, and I really share your excitement for today's event. First of all, I'm wishing everyone on this PARIMA event a very happy International Women's Day. And I also want to congratulate PARIMA for the 10th anniversary in the region. And I think you take a great decision to put the anniversary event this year to Tokyo. I remember 2018, it was a great event with Japanese perfection of organization, and I'm sure it will be a great event this year as well. Now, I'm mindful that everyone is waiting to hear from our protagonist, Michishita-san, but please give me a couple of minutes to put today's interview in a broader context. I will use 3-4 slides and a short video to set the scene and introduce the company which Michishita-san and I are representing. So let's jump to the next slide, please. Sorry, stay on this slide. So on this slide, you see what we call the MSIG Asia region. Under the Regional Management Office, which I represent as the CEO, you find 14 countries and 16 business units, which write combined 270 billion Japanese yen as gross written premium. This is in Singapore dollars, 2.7 billion, or in US dollar, 2 billion. You see the region defined, it reaches from Hong Kong, Macau, through all 10 ASEAN countries, and then reaching down to Australia, New Zealand. Countries like India, Taiwan, China, and Korea report directly to our head office. It's just a description how we define the region. Our region ultimately consolidates into Japan, into the MS&AD insurance group, which is for top line globally among the top 10 insurers for P&C insurance, and the #1 insurer in Japan, which is our home market, of course. Next slide, please. So clearly, at MSIG, our people are at the heart of everything we do. Here you see the regional management team at the 2023 kickoff, which was just recently. In the MSIG Asia region, we employ 4,700 colleagues, and globally with head office and other regions, we have 40,000 staff. In our region, we are proud of our diversity, and we count that 65% of our colleagues are actually females, with 35% in leadership positions. The latter percentage is growing continuously, and the focus for us to increase over the coming years. So let's jump to the next slide, please. Also, at MSIG, we are very passionate, like you, Samantha, about sports, and we are very proud of our top-class athletes. Sports, we feel, is a common language in our diverse group of countries and among our diverse group of colleagues. Furthermore, we believe that qualities of successful sportswomen and men can also help us to be successful, responsible members at work, in our families, and in society. So we truly love sports, and we really, really are passionate about today's event. Next slide, please. On that slide, we put a number of pictures, and you see our track record here. We're supporting at MSI head office in Japan colleagues with their careers as professionals and as athletes. The gallery starts on the left upper corner with our world-famous women's judo team and continues to the right bottom with our latest additions, women's rugby and table tennis. In 2015, I want to point out, we added a team of para-athletes who are especially relevant for today's interview and when we speak about resilience in general. In the following, I show you a 90 seconds animated video with the representation of our athletes. Maybe you jump to the next slide and play the video.
MS&AD. Sometimes I hear a voice from somewhere inside of me.
超えたい人がいる。
Take up the challenge and be the best I can. Up ahead on the road, the future is calling.
挑み続ける人がいる。
And this is the moment I choose.
明日を信じる人がいる。
I'll be a better me. 'Cause I believe.
未来の自分はきっと今より輝いている。 昨日より今日、そしてその先へ。自分を超えていくために今日も挑み続ける。 未来のあなたにエールを送る。 井住友会場。
Thank you very much. The IT worked very nicely, and I hope you all liked that video. Actually, every time I see it, and I've seen it now many times, it always gives me goosebumps. Just very impressive what athletes are delivering day by day. And I really like the video also because it finishes very nicely with the star, the protagonist of today's interview, Misato Michishita-san. Quick introduction in front of you. You see that she is an outstanding representative of our para-athlete team in Japan. She is a marathon runner with visual impairment. She is representing the country at the Tokyo Paralympics and was a gold medalist. And she holds the world record for T12 marathon with incredible 2 hours 54 minutes. Now, without further ado, I really want to jump over into the interview with Michishita-san. Let me swap over to Japanese, and please all remember what Samantha told you. We have simultaneous translation for you to follow along if you cannot follow Japanese directly. So, Michishita-san.
Hello, Michishita-san. Good afternoon.
Hi,
Hello,
Tsunoyama.
nice to meet you.
Konnichiwa.
How are you?
Konnichiwa.
Thank you very much. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for today. Thank you.
じゃあ今日はよろしくお願いいたします。
はい、よろしく
So,
お願いします。
Michishita-san,
ミチシタさん、ここまでは
we've
英語で
spoken in
当社の
English
内
to
容
talk about
並び
the company's
ミチシタさんのプロファイ
outlines
ルを
and
お話し
introducing
させてい
yourself.
ただきました。
But from this
ここ
point
からは
on,
日本語で
in
ミチシタさんへの
Japanese, I would like to
インタビューを
start
始めたいと思ってお
interviewing
り
you.
ます それでは早速ですが、
So, I would like to move on to the
質
first
問を
question,
させてくだ
if
さい。
that's okay.
よろしくお願いします。
Looking back your athlete
競技生活
experience,
の
what are the
成功体験をお話
achievements
しいただ
that you
けま
can
すで
think
しょう
of?
か。
はい。
Hello,
で
good
は改めま
afternoon,
して皆さん
everyone.
はじめまして
My
フラ
name
イトマラ
is
ソンの
Misato
と申します。
Michishita.
本日は
I
皆
am.
様にお会いで
This
き
is my
ることが
honor
できてこのよ
to
うな
be
機会を
able
いた
to
だきま
talk
した。
in
本
front
当
of
に
everyone
まずは
today
感謝
and
したいと
giving
思
me
い
the
ます。
opportunity. Thank you so
さて、
much.
私の
So,
競
about
技
my
生活での成
success
功
in my
体験する
athlete
ことです
life,
が、なんといっても
I
自
cannot
国開催
start, I
東京
cannot
パラリンピックでの
avoid
金メダ
talking
ルという
about
のが
this
大きな成
Tokyo
功体験で
Paralympic
す。
Games.
私たちは
But
2016
before
年リオパラリンピック
Tokyo,
で
in
金
Rio
メダルにお会いして
Paralympic Games in
次こそは金メダル
2016,
と
I've achieved
2017年から
silver
ロンドン
medal.
マラソンで3年間
But
経て
it was
東京大会に向けて
it was something that I wanted to do
まあその
better
時に
for Tokyo. So
2020年3月
I
皆さん
focused
ご存知のよう
on
に
doing better in Tokyo. However, as everyone knows, 3 years ago or so, the COVID-19 hit as a pandemic all over the world. And this has impacted everyone in the world. And I was having difficulties obtaining right information and so on going around. And like myself, I have a visual impairment. And for us, the supporter who will be running beside me, so these people who have important roles for us to continue to keep running. But because of the social distancing rules and so on, I was not able to run beside the support runner. So this guide, I lost this guide because of social distancing rules in place. So I was thinking, what can I do to make this situation better for myself? What are the things that I have to know about? So when I am at the disadvantage, then how I act will decide my value as a person. So I've decided to tell myself that this is actually a good opportunity to grow as a person and then show myself to others around me. So I try to think about what I can do. For example, I can use a stick to walk. I can cook at home. So I try to think about what I can do. Then I thought about what I can do to make sure that I have more time for practicing, for running. So and also I told myself that I shouldn't think all by myself. because if I just think about these difficulties all by myself, I tend to have a negative feelings towards the situations which I am in right now. So I try to engage with the people around me. And so I thought that the team communication was very important. Three things I wanted to say. First, important thing is try to use positive words. Second point is try to find the good things about people. And third point is even small little things, we try to send our gratitude for each other. And in terms of preparation for my events, running competitions, I needed to make sure that I can keep up with my motivation. So I thought about the factors that could contribute to my performance. So I'm going to talk about a few lists. I'm going to talk about sleep, and then muscle soreness, and stress, and then motivation. I had made actually a scorecard. Then every day I try to score them. Then if the score was low, for example, if my stress level was not good, then what made me feel more stressed, or why I had trouble sleeping, or something like that. So I decided to talk about it. So these things would affect my performance. So it is about the stress from people interaction, human relationship, or could be sleeplessness and so on. So I try to understand my own pattern so that I can try to do something about it to increase my motivation or increase my performance at the end. And then to make myself happy, I made sure that I can have an 8-hour sleep every day, or even good quality sleep. So I try to look at my diet as well, to try not to eat too much meat or something like that. All these things will affect the quality of sleep. So I try to improve these things. Then this is also a preparation for my performance. So we also have to think about the temperature and the humidity of the environment. Also the direction of the sunlight, and then how the winds are going around. Then what are the pace that I should run? Then I try to accumulate all the data. And then after the meeting, after the practice, myself and my team talked about what could have been better and so on. So I tried trial and then error, then try to overcome one thing at a time. Then this has led to the gold medal at the Tokyo Paralympic Games, thanks to the team. So this is all about one for all for one. One person will do something for everyone, and everyone will do something for one person. So this creates the fun environment as well. I've tried to deliver this message using Facebook and so on. So thanks to everyone, I have been able to keep running. I always communicate with my team to tackle the difficulties. If we don't have a good relationships or friendships, then we cannot expect a good environment and good performance in the end. So looking beyond gold medal, I was kept thinking, what's beyond gold medal? If we achieve this gold medal as a team, what can we have in the future and so on? So I think this kind of vision helped me to achieve what I achieved. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your comment. Thank you. Really appreciative of your comments, and then congratulations on your achievement. Thank you. Yes. So you have been giving us really inspiring stories, and I was touched to listen to your stories. Thank you so much. If that's okay, I would like to ask you next question. Of course, as an athlete, why you chose Mitsui Sumitomo Insurance? Yes, the reason why is that back I joined before Rio Paralympic Games in 2016. It was 6 months before Rio Paralympic Games, and I was feeling difficulties in achieving the work life as well as practicing marathon and so on. But I thought that with Mitsui Sumitomo, the company's philosophy, if I was able to join the company, I think I could give a lot to the companies, and then the support system that the company had really resonated with me. So in order to be even more active, I decided to join Mitsui Sumitomo. Oh, thank you so much.
はい。じゃあ、
So
まだ
talking about
まだ
next
まだ
topic,
いきますけど、次参り
in
ます。
terms of competitions or competitive life, I'm sure that it's physically and mentally demanding at times, but when you have time for yourself, free time, what kind of things do you do? Okay. Apart from competition, I sleep a lot. I actually love sleeping. So actually, even before this session, I was taking a small nap, quick nap. So I really love sleeping. So this might sound like a joke, but in everyday life, I work as a Mitsui Sumitomo Insurance, and then I practice as well. So in the morning, I tend to work, and then in the afternoon, I do yoga, and then I try to cook, and I love reading as well. So I've been reading a psychology-related books. As for my job, I would like to make sure that our insurance company to deliver security for our customers wanted to make sure that this message can be delivered. So I'm also joining the recycling activities in a community or local area. So and then I also joined the talk show to deliver my speech and deliver my message in a wider community. Anything related to SDGs activities, that's what I'm heavily involved in. Okay, thank you so much. So you mentioned that you love cooking. What kind of cooking? What kind of meal do you like to cook? I like to make stew, Japanese stew. So I just put all the vegetables in the pot and I just need to boil them. So it's simple. So it's Japanese style, right? Yes, that's right. I like cooking Japanese meal. Yes, today's participants, I'm sure many people are from Southeast Asian countries too. What do you think of them? Yes, they're really healthy food. I love them. I love spicy food, by the way. Oh, I see. Thank you so much. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Today is the International Women's Day. The UN, United Nations, is calling for the need to increase the awareness amongst women and regarding their rights in society and digital. And I was just wondering how this digital has impacted your life and contributing the growth in your personal life as an athlete. So how the digital technology have affected your life? Oh, well, yes. In terms of my competition, I use this kind of digital device. This is like a Garmin. So yeah, I use this kind of wearable device to record my pulse and also the speed of running and so on. So by monitoring these things, I can use this as a point to monitor my conditions and so on. In terms of the initializations and so on, I find it difficult to understand how to set up. So this kind of thing, and I'm always asking my coach to look after that. But also, if by the way, there's an app on my phone to help me with the audio support. So I try to use a lot of audio support as well. So, for example, the business card, for example, I cannot read for this kind of writings. However, there is an app that I can take for photo, and this photo will read out what's being written on the card. So this is very helpful as well. Then also I can read books as well. And then, for example, at home, I can ask the app, like, can you tell me the recipe using daikon? And then the app can teach me what kind of meal I can cook using the ingredients daikon. So this digital device is definitely something that enrich my life. And I also use smartphone. I can also say that, okay, so today, 8th of March, I have a speech session. If I say something, and say that, I can put it on my diary as well. So this is very useful. And visually impaired person using digital technology can be tricky because we always have to rely on the audio support. And then, of course, even you are not visually impaired, there will be difficulties as well. But when you are communicating with someone with visually impaired, then I think when you say something, for example, 86, when you read out the numbers, then sometimes it affects how we understand. For example, when I go to English website, then I hear the English native audio and I struggle. So even though the audio support is out there, then if that's not received and understood by the audience, it does not help, unfortunately. So any message given to visually impaired people like us must be something that understandable in a sense. So that is the message that I wanted to say. So I think that digital technology can be improved to further enrich our lives. I see. Thank you so much for telling us that. I understand that the digital technology has a huge impact in your life. All right, moving on. So this is the last question. As a female athlete, are there any challenges that you've faced? And then if there's any, how did you overcome? If you can give a message to the audience today, that would be amazing. Of course. So I think people will have objectives or goals, maybe for your life, maybe for your work, maybe for your friends and families, and I myself as well. I didn't compete. I never competed all by myself. I always have support. And then these supporters face to me having a disability, and they will spend more time with me. So I consider my supporter as for example, like a family members, like my brothers and sisters, who we can talk about anything in a straightforward manner. So I think, workplace or local communities, I think we can deliver a good message. And thanks to this support, I have been able to achieve what I have achieved so far. As for the passion of being an athlete, it is not easy, I must say. However, I tell myself that I have to be strong, I have to be resilient, so that I can connect with community, I can connect with people around me, and I can do something for them. So, thinking about the current society, not because I have a disability or not because I have a woman, I shouldn't be feeling that I am limited. So I'm telling myself that I have a value and I have something to give to people. And I think this is the power that the society needs today. I have to believe myself. I believe my teammates, and I believe in possibilities. That is why I believe that I can overcome any challenges. And I have a goal that I would like to be able to keep running until I'm 80 years old. And I would love to be running in Singapore in the future as well. Those are my goals. There are not many female athletes, doing the amazing records in Asian regions. So I would like to encourage more people to do the sport. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk with everyone today. Thank you so much, Michishita-san. Now I have asked you many questions, but we have many questions coming from audience as well. So can we pick up some questions from the audience? Of course. So I'm going to talk in English and then I will translate into Japanese myself. So if you could just give me a moment, please.
So to help everyone, we received a question from the audience. Thank you for your interest. I read it out in English for a second and then I try to translate to Michishita-san. So the question is, first a statement, a big compliment. You are an inspiration, Michishita-san. Thank you for sharing. My daughter is a competitive fencer at the age of 13. Can you give me one piece of advice for my daughter and one piece of advice for my parent, please? So I try to translate. 13歳の娘がフェンシングをやっていますので、なんかアスリートの目線でアドバイスをいただいてますか？またスポーツ競技をしている子供を持つ親へのアドバイスももしあればお願いいたします。あと最初、そのオーディエンスの方言ったのは、道下さんの話を聞いて本当にインスピレーションをイメージが受け取ったということを非常に感謝します。じゃあ、質問の答えお願いします。
Yes, thank you so much for your questions. So 13 years old and then doing the fencing. All right. When I think about my mother, when I went to run at the event, my mother always came to see me. So I feel that my mom is the person who believes my possibility. So even though I didn't do well in the competition, then she'll try to look for a good point, what I did good, what I did well. So I think this positivity surrounded me, and that's what made me who I am today. So I think this kind of message, I hope this kind of message will be helpful. I see the parents will play a vital role for you. Yes, that's right. Using words is important, I think. My parents always talk to me. And my mother said that let's go everywhere in the world and then keep running. So that really encouraged me. I see. Next question. We have more questions. So I'm going to read out in English first and then translate into Japanese.
I saw in the video you are a petite woman. Compared to the European runners, I find you incredibly amazing to be a world record holder. Did anyone around you ever tell you that you will not succeed? How did you overcome this? じゃあ、通訳させていただきます。先ほどのビデオで、道下さんの体格は小さいと分かったことを、興味があって、ヨーロッパの選手と比較すると体格が 小さいということで、それはすごいだと思ったんですけど、それで世界記録を獲得したことももともとすごいだと思った。道下さんの周りでは誰かいつかあなたは絶対成功しないという発言しましたかという質問があって、こういう話を聞いたときはどうやって頑張った成功しましたか、ぜひ教えてくださいという質問です。
Well, all right, thank you very much for the question.
確かに
Indeed, my figure is small. I'm 144 centimeters in tall, so my height is small. And then if you look at the length of the legs or the dynamics, I might be lacking in the power, yes. However, my coach told me that because I'm a petite figure, I can run in an energy-saving mode. And because my figure is not big, what to say? Because I am small, many people will look at me and they'll feel encouraged by looking at me running. So I felt that because I have a small figure, I wanted to do more. And then if I told myself that if I can become a world #1, that would be so amazing. So body figure is just one. But I think anyone will have a disadvantage. So, but how you perceive your disadvantage can be different from people to people. So I try to not think that my figure as a disadvantage, but I thought this is a positiveness. I see. Thank you very much. We have more questions coming in. So it is about preparation of the marathon, the question. All right, so marathon is all about preparation. So before going to the start point, depending on how you prepare yourself, the result has been already predetermined. I think I can say that because we have to think about the temperature, the humidity, and the sunlight, how the sun is strong, and so on. So it all affects what I wear. For example, sometimes I apply Vaseline on my body, or I wear caps, and so on. Depending on the climate, the preparation will be different during practice sessions. For example, if I run 40 kilometers, then how much weight I'm going to lose? Because I'm going to lose water from my body. So how much water I have to take in? So during a practice, we always try and then see different data, then try to work towards the competition day. So when I talk about preparation, there are so many preparations I can talk about. I run so many times before Tokyo Paralympic Games, and then I try to imagine how it's going to be like to run the course. And I also do the research about my rivals as well. So I gathered lots of data in order to compete in the Tokyo Olympic Games, Paralympic Games. Sorry, I forgot to read the question in English before, so I'm just gonna read what the question was.
So the answer from Michishita-san was to the question if before a race she is preparing mentally and what special preparation she is undertaking. So that was the connection to the answer that you all got translated right now. So Michishita-san, there's more and more questions coming. So you are very popular.
So there are so many questions coming and you are definitely popular. So let's move on to the next question. I'm going to read out in English first. So if you could bear with me a second, please.
It was not easy to maintain motivation, and I wonder how do you maintain your motivation for running? So if I try to translate this, it says something like, 私も昔 陸上競技をしてました。学生時代に7年走っていましたが、モチベーションを維持するのが簡単ではなかった。道下さんはどのようにモチベーションをキープ維持されてますか？ 80歳まで頑張りたいので、ぜひ教えてください。それは香港にいる北野さんという方、僕の前の同僚のまた友達になった日本人の方からの質問です。
Thank you very much for your question. So let's run together until we are 80 years old. So I think verbalizing my goal is actually a really good way to motivate ourselves, don't you think? I think verbalizing really helps. So if I say something, then people around me might say that, oh, Michishita-san, you haven't been running. I don't see you running recently. Then that will make me feel like, oh, I have to run. So this will become my motivation. So we always have to think about where we started. What motivations we always have. And also sometimes I get encouragement from my teammates or people around me. So I think this plays a very big role in motivating myself. And I myself joined as a guest runner in a local event. Then the local people there are really big fan of me, and I'm really thankful. And I've been telling that I'm gonna do my best for the Paris Paralympic Games and so on. So I'm already telling them my goals. Then this will motivate people and motivate myself as well, and I get support from people, and that is also my motivation as well. Thank you. Understood. Thank you very much. Everyone okay with those answers? Let's move on to next question.
So first in English, so the audience member is saying, first of all, your positivity and lovely smile are really impressive. Having won the gold medal, what would you like to challenge next in your life? So I try to translate. ちょっと通訳させていただきます。道下さんのポジティブな笑顔はとても感激しています。
Thank you.
メダルを取った今、道下さんは人生の中で次の目標は何でしょうか？
Well, yeah, thank you very much for that question. My goal, so the winning gold medal is just a way. When I had disability, I wanted to become a bridge of people with disability and without disability. Now I'm connecting people, and so this is something what I always want to do. So through running, it enriched my heart, and then I can connect with more people. So I would like to continue doing this and then connect people in the world. So please call me, please invite me to Singapore. I would love to go to Singapore and meet everyone in person. That would be amazing. All right, so looks like the time is coming soon. So I would like to ask you a few more questions. And those questions we could not address today, I would like to send it to you. And then if you could answer them, then I can share it with our colleagues. All right, no problem. Let's do that. Thank you so very much for your valuable comments today. Thank you so much as well. All right, so this concludes the interview with Michishita-san. Thank you so much for attending this session despite your busy schedule today. Thank you so much, everyone.
So I swap back in English now for everyone. But I would like to thank once again in English to Michishita-san for sharing her inspiring personal story of resilience, and also thanking for taking so many questions from the audience. As I just said to Michishita-san, there's more questions coming from the audience, which shows her popularity with us. And we will take these questions and we will have Michishita-san kindly respond to us in writing. And then we find a way to publish this together with PARIMA to all the members who were asking today in the audience questions. Now, I would like, as a wrap up before I hand over to Samantha, want to emphasize that again, indeed the attributes of sportsmanship, discipline, determination, teamwork, passion, fair play, they all combine to build strengths and a key word which Michishita-san has used, resilience. So for Michishita-san, I believe this has come alive as we see her overcome the difficulties that have been throwing her back again and again, and she was able to overcome this through the positivity as she described it in her environment. Now let me pivot for a moment and look at our insurance industry and our environment in the insurance industry today, where we are experiencing a level of disruptions and business risks that we've never seen in generations before. The challenge is very obvious. We need to be quickly adapting, we need to be persevering, and we need to be moving forward by maintaining business operations and safeguarding assets, including people and overall corporate reputation. But resilience is not the result of an individual, and Michishita-san's story is testament to this. As she taps on her network, she explained it earlier again and again, of friends, of family and colleagues to support her with her fabulous career. Following PARIMA's theme in the November 2022 Resilience Week, which said resilience is a collective effort. They talked about collective resilience at that time. We at MSIG fully agree with PARIMA, and we strongly share this view. Alliances and partners are very critical in these volatile times, and therefore we are grateful for the partnership with PARIMA and for engaging with all of you on this virtual event today. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for joining Michishita-san on this very meaningful International Women's Day. And with this, I would like to hand back to you, Samantha.
Thank you so much, Clemens, and to Michishita-san. You know, it's such an engaging and lively conversation. So many questions were asked and we can't even answer them all. So to all of you, we will definitely be sharing the questions with her. She'll be answering the questions and we'll find a way to share all the answers that you're so keen to find out about. I mean, the life of an athlete is so different. What's more, an athlete supported by one of our PARIMA partners in getting her lifelong dreams and aspirations and inspiring everyone to embark on a nice journey together. With that, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. But before that, I'd like to, push out a little survey, a little poll for you guys. Help us, give us a little bit of feedback how you found today's session to be. It is very different from the normal PARIMA dynamic huddles that we've been having. It's celebrating about women in sport. It is celebrating International Women's Day, and it's not on a Monday. So we just like to hear a little bit more about your feedback, what you'd like to see in the future. And obviously this helps us to craft more tailored sessions for everyone here in the audience. So without further ado, we are kind of a little bit late, but I'm so glad that we had this session. Very different, very inspiring, and I love the energy levels that we had today. And once again, I'd like to thank MSIG for partnering with PARIMA with such a meaningful project, a meaningful session today with one of the top athletes that they have. And it's always so inspiring to celebrate International Women's Day all together. So thank you, Clemens, and thank you to Michishita-san for joining us today with all our esteemed guests in the session today, and I wish everyone a great week ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much. ありがとうございました、Michishita-san.
Thank you. Bye.
はい、お会いしましょう。
See you again.
See you again. Thank you.
Thank you.